Okay, Bob, here we are. We're here talking about content for the website. I have had a lot of conversations with my friend Jonathan Jeter about developing content for students and trying to get them to understand the teaching philosophy that I've learned from you. And I've always told people that I wish you guys could, be sitting at the table when I come down to visit Bob and have conversations, because we never record them and we never end up putting them out so you guys could actually feel what it's like to be here. It's just been some great stuff sitting around the kitchen table in the mornings and just talking golf and could you tell me a little bit about where your teaching philosophy was derived from, and then I can kind of get into how I've kind of added on to that.
Well, let me preface your question by this answer. You know, I had golf schools.
Yes.
For how long did I teach them?
20 years?
20 years.
20 years.
And what kind of players did I teach?
Average players.
I taught
high-handicap
people that had very poor hand-eye coordination.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't teaching golf pros.
Right.
Well, I have, but that experience was nothing like the experience I had teaching the average and high handicap player how to find a golf ball with some degree of consistency.
Right.
And you know how difficult that is, being the teacher that you are. So you have to have a method, or you have to have a philosophy to understand how they can play better golf and be more consistent. Isn't that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, golf is a non-violent game played violently from within. Isn't that true?
That is true.
Why is it so violently played from within? Because they try to hit the ball
Too far.
so the body then becomes more active in the source of the swing. And what's the greatest part of your body that produces speed?
The hands and wrists.
And
Supported by the arms.
no, and the arm. You got to swing the arm. Now, the body is really quiet doing that. If you were to hit the ball, what if I told you to hit the ball 50 yards with a hand and arm and wrist swing?
Right.
How much would your body be active?
Not very much.
Well, let's take it one step further, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have these people look at the people that are in the driving contest down in Las Vegas.
Oh, the long drive guys.
Well,
yeah.
but it goes right back to what I just said a minute before. Golf is a non-violent game played violently from within. Why are they so violently with their body? Because the swing is so
Long and fast.
long and fast. And their feet are flying all over the place. They got 8 golf balls to hit, and they may put one in the playing area.
On the grid,
right?
yeah.
Well, isn't that the average golfer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what does the average golfer do? He wants to go play in the back tees.
Sure.
Well, why doesn't he play in the front tees where he can score better, keep the ball in play, and not be so overactive about how he swings the golf club? Because when you do that, your body starts interfering with the control of your golf swing.
Sure.
And the truth of that matter of fact is, you tell somebody to putt and try to turn and shift while they're putting. What's going to happen?
Oh, they're going to not hit the ball very straight or solid, but
Right.
very consistent.
So their body is very
Quiet.
and the only thing that's moving is their head and arms and hands
And
to
shoulders.
get control. That's where you learn to control the golf ball, right?
Sure.
Okay, I'll go back to my history of my career. At 6.5 years of age, when my mom died, they put me on the golf course. My brothers were assistants, and they gave me a 6-iron and a putter, and they said, all you're going to do is chip the putt. You're not going to hit any drivers. You're not going to try to hit the ball very far. Yeah, I'm going to teach you how to control the club face. You're going to putt and then chip and then putt.
Mm-hmm.
Putt and learn to roll the ball, and then chip to learn to get the ball in the.
There.
And at 6.5 years old, I learned to play golf from the green to the
Tee.
what the most golfers want to do today.
Learn from the tee to the green.
And what happens? They get there in 9 or 8 instead of 2, 3 or 4,
Right.
because they're trying to play a game so violent because of the speed of the golf swing.
Mm.
And now we have to teach people to prepare themselves better to learn how to play golf, right?
Yeah.
So proper preparation is learning how to control the club face to strike the ball and hit it square and hit it more consistent. And when would you start to do that? To a non-high handicap level.
On the putting green.
On the putting green, then chipping and pitching and so on. And that's the progression that you take, right?
Sure.
Golf was no different like going to school.
Right.
What grade did you go to first?
Kindergarten.
Well, what grade?
Well,
Let's
first
take
grade.
numbers.
All right, we'll say first grade.
You went to first grade, and you had to graduate to get to the what?
Second grade.
And then,
Third.
and what if you didn't graduate? What if you didn't pass your test? What do they do?
They keep you in the same grade for another year.
Wouldn't you do the same thing playing golf?
Yeah, you would think.
But everybody, are we getting a message here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody wants
Absolutely.
to improve quickly, and they want to be what the tour player is, because when he swings, he looks effortless, he looks in balance, he looks he's got control, but they don't do that.
Right.
And the golf swing takes less than what?
2 seconds.
And in 2 seconds, you got to do 3 simple things, right? Swing, turn,
And shit.
and shift.
Yep.
And in 3 seconds, you got to allow your body to turn and shift while you make a golf swing.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Let's preface the next statement by the fact that you can only swing a golf club at a rate of speed which the strength your arms and hands can bear.
Yes.
And that's what, well, that's why these players can drive the ball so far today.
Right.
Okay? They drive it 360 or 400 yards. But what is the average distance of the tour player on the tour?
Probably around 270,
280.
280.
So it's not 360 yards.
Right, right.
Well, why? Let me ask you this question. Why is the distance that they drive the ball consistently about 280 yards?
Club head speed.
No, I'll give you the answer, because they know they can't drive it 300 yards and consistently put it in the fairway.
True.
That's the right answer.
True, yes, true.
See?
Yeah.
So that's why they don't try to hit it 300 or 400 yards like the guys in Vegas, because they only have to hit one ball in play, and if that ball was 400 yards in play, they win the contest.
Sure.
Well, then if they were that, if driving the ball is that important and that far, well, then why aren't they on tour?
Right.
Give me the answer.
I can't give you that answer. They can't be very consistent in
Well,
other areas of their game.
Isn't life supposed to have some consistency?
Yeah,
Eating 3 meals a day, getting 8 hours of sleep.
sure.
You know, golf is a game where you must learn to control your golf ball with how many clubs?
14,
To play how many holes?
18.
Okay.
Well, that's something you never hear very much in golf instruction today is you just listen to the psychology that Bob talks with. And when I met you in 2000, I just watched you teach 6-8 hours a day, and I'd go and I'd caddy for you in senior tour events and you know, play golf with you and take lessons from you. And I was totally immersed in a coaching experience, and although I didn't know it at the time. And as I started to pay attention to the way Bob taught, the psychology that he talks, whether it's course management or the psychology of learning, it's just not very common today in golf instruction. And it's one of the things that I try to convey to my students is the first thing I have to try to do is teach them how to learn, prepare them how to learn. And you've done that as well as anybody for a long time.
So when you do that, you don't just take them out on practice tee and start hitting golf balls with a driver, and you prepare them mentally to understand how to prepare themselves mentally and physically to play golf. Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
So no one does that better than you.
Well,
Okay.
I had a good teacher.
Well, sure. I taught a lot of people to teach golf. How many? I can go to hundreds, but they don't teach golf because it's you do. They don't have the mind that you have.
Right.
And let's understand golf being played by a physical action that requires a great amount of speed in the golf club to get the ball to go to a distance, right?
Right.
So the first thing, if you're giving a guy a high handicap player a lesson, are you going to take him out there and give him a 7-iron or 8-iron and try to hit the ball in the air? You could, if he has good hand-eye
Coordination.
but if he doesn't, I would start with a 6-foot putt with a straight putt and say, let me see, put the ball in the hole.
Right.
And what if he misses?
We're gonna move closer.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, that goes back to your theory.
Sure.
You got to crawl before you what?
Walk.
My point of reference again is success breeds confidence.
Yes.
And he's got to see the ball go where?
In the hole.
What if he can't get it in the hole?
He's not gonna be very confident.
He has any confidence, so he doesn't have any feel for the game, does it?
Yeah.
And it starts where?
In your fingers and hands.
And I said this once, and I'll say it again. Into thine hands you place the truth of thy swing.
Yeah.
That's where it all starts, and that's where it all
Ends.
other body parts support and accommodate that part, which is hands, arms, and shoulders and wrists, right?
Right.
And they produce how much percentage of the speed do they produce?
About 85%.
Well, then why would you try to get 85% of the speed coming from your body
Right.
and only 15% from your hands and arms?
Right.
This, I find, the problem with teaching golf today.
Right.
If you can do that, then you're a magician, because it's almost impossible.
Right.
Okay, how did I learn how to teach? I left the tour when I was 30 years old. And I thought I knew how to teach. And I would take these players and I couldn't communicate to them how to control the golf swing through their body. I knew how I did it,
Right.
but I couldn't relate to them and communicate to them how they should do it and how they should do it with some degree of consistency. So what I did was I started thinking about the first 5 years, I wasn't a good teacher. I was a good player, but I couldn't communicate and teach high-handicap players how to become better at learning the game. So I broke my body down. I started, what do my hands feel like when I putt the ball? What do my arms feel like when I swing the club to get more arc and more speed? What do my shoulders feel like? What do my hips feel like? What do my knees feel like? What do my feet feel like?
Right.
And I broke my body parts down as I swung and tried to analyze and sense what those all parts did. And I didn't realize what I did. So when I did that, I started teaching what I had learned as a player and broke it down and tried to explain that the shoulders are a base from which your arms travel. They're carriers. They carry the load.
Sure.
They don't create a lot of speed. They support the speed, right?
Right.
Then I realized that the golf club travels, 180 degrees with a full swing?
Well,
360.
360, yeah.
And if someone's going to swing a golf club that far, or with that amount of arc and that much speed, you got to find out if they can control that, right?
Right.
So if they try to swing with too much speed and too much effort, what do?
Slow down.
You slow down.
Sure.
And that's what they don't understand, that you have to reduce speed and sometimes arc
Right.
to control what your body parts are doing.
Sure. Yeah.
But the minute I started talking about lateral force and vertical force and rotary force
Right.
and how they're controlled and how they had to apply it, then I began to become a teacher.
Yeah.
And I started getting success with my students.
Right.
But I had to break my own body parts down first.
Yeah.
And I was 120 pounds on tour.
Right.
And I was driving the ball 260, 70 yards.
Right.
And getting 2 yards per pound.
Right.
So I must have had good hand-eye coordination and good body coordination
Yeah.
to create that success.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, that's the real art of teaching,
Yep.
is to help people to control their swing, control their mind,
Right.
control their body,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the challenge.
That's just how simple, and in doing so, a whole new paradigm of golf instruction was born. And then that would roll its way into the Golf Digest schools and the influence that you've had on all these different teachers. And that's how quickly it happens. I mean, you can have and it's a simple thought. And that's what I try to direct people's attention to, is that I teach them to basically do what you did so simply so many years ago, and look at the success that you've ended up having.
Can I tell another story about hand-eye coordination?
Sure.
I'm in 5th or 6th grade, and we're having a contest in
Handwriting.
handwriting. And the teacher says, you're going to move across the line. You got a line piece of paper,
Right.
and as you go, as you move lateral, we're going to start making a
Circle.
circle, and we have to stay between two.
Lines.
So she would say, go, and I would start making a circle. And she said, whoever gets to that end the quickest and stays between the lines with a consistent arc, which is a circle, wins.
Correct.
All right, who won the contest?
That'd be you.
What?
That would be you.
Okay. Then we had to go vertical, and we had to stay between two lines. Now, you go vertical, you're not going to move as fast across as you did when you made a
Circle.
circle. So now we're moving a lateral, and now we're moving vertical, but there's no circle.
Right.
So we're going back and forth. I go across the line paper, and I win that contest. Now, I just got a letter from a young woman that I taught way back when she was in college, from Mississippi, Yazoo City.
Okay.
First thing she mentioned when I wrote her the letter, she says, what a beautiful handwriting you have. Okay, if that is the case, then how sensitive are my fingers and hands and arms to moving an implement, which is called a pen,
Yeah.
across a lined piece of paper. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
So, all right. Does the golf swing have lateral force?
Sure.
Does it have rotary force?
Yes.
Does it have
Vertical.
vertical force?
Yeah.
Then you better explain how all three are implemented and used and controlled in the golf swing. Because it only takes how long?
Less than 2 seconds.
Well, then in 2 seconds you got to do all three.
Right.
And the faster the club swings and the faster all these parts move,
The harder it is to do.
well, that's pretty what?
Pretty simple and pretty obvious.
It's pretty obvious. So now you have to have a communication method to help them to get better control. So they have to regress to
Progress.
progress.
Yeah.
How many people want to regress to progress?
Not many. Not many. They want the golf pill. And they don't realize that handwriting, I've always noticed in your handwriting, it's a very good physical expression of feel. He's got an amazing,
What's the most sensitive part of your body?
your fingers in the golf swing. Yeah.
What am I doing here?
You're touching me, Bob.
I didn't grab you
That's
like
right.
this.
That's right.
That's the way they play golf. They
Yes.
play golf like
Yes.
that instead of feeling how
Yeah.
easy it is to hold something and then move it.
Move it. Well, in the next segment, we're going to talk about why that is, because in studying the teaching methodology that you've used, I'm going to kind of delve into how I came about piggybacking off of that and trying to bring it to another level.